Hey everybody, how's it going? Tuesday night, it's time for the Fandom Empire stuff. Nope, it's actually time for Fandom Empire Live, twice a week. Happy to be here with all you fine ladies and gentlemen out there on planet Earth, because if you're not on planet Earth, well then that's just fucked up. I don't think I'm fucked up enough yet. Anyways, this is Fandom Empire Live. How's it going, everybody? One hell of a show with you for you today. I can see Kieran's sweater. I can like almost touch it. Wow, what a sexy sweater. You know what that sweater would look good on? Tommy B. That sweater would look good on Tommy B. I'm just saying.
I'm going on a diet. I just started a diet. Leave me alone.
Well, we got a fun show tonight. We're gonna talk Halloween Kills. Yes. Big news right out of the gate. The movie, we've gotten word, has been delayed until 2022. No, we're just fucking with you. It's not bad news. I actually told the boys that we were going to do that before we went on air. And yeah, so nobody take that seriously. The movie has not been delayed. The movie will not be delayed out of this year anyway. So we're going to talk about that. Going to talk about the Snyder Cut. Going to talk about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which I believe Johnny just saw. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk Star Wars and a little bit about AMC, what's going on with them. I guess you can add Regal to that list now and Cineworld. And we're going to talk about the movie industry because there was some stuff that our buddy Zack mentioned on the last show that I do want to correct because we do pride ourselves on here in terms of giving accurate information, and there was some less than accurate things that went out. Zach's accurate 9 times out of 10 for sure, but we just want to clarify that. Did some research on it after talking with Frank and our buddy Darren Sands, and so we have some correct information on how the certain things in the movie industry work. Without further ado, though, the other hosts of this show. First up, he doesn't have his hair in a ponytail. I'm slightly disappointed. It's Tommy with an IB. How's it going, man?
I can't see you.
Is that better, Cupcake?
It's better. Thank you.
Is that better?
I'm happy. Yes.
Why are you talking quiet now? We just adjusted the mic. It's not the fucking mic. It's the way you're talking. And these two are sitting right here and know it too. You went from talking like, "Hey, how's it going?" to, "Yes, it's terribly terrible with terrible things."
Side.
All right, you know what?
Here we go, right off the bat.
Oh my God, he's actually going to do it.
He's actually going to fuck himself. Oh no, he's going to get a hair tie.
Yeah, are we ready for that? I don't think we're rated for that.
No, we're not rated for that. That wouldn't be good for YouTube.
Ooh, that had my heart pumping for
That had your heart pumping?
Yeah, fucking.
It was that quick.
Yeah, fucking. You know, you don't think you would? You don't think you'd get a little bit of adrenaline if one of us just like got up and jerked off on the air?
No.
Oh man.
Yeah, well, this went adios. Thanks for tuning in. We will never be back. No, I'm kidding.
Does YouTube have a cancellation policy?
Tommy, how long does it take to put your fucking hair in a ponytail, man? Didn't you just go grab a hairband? Or did you go fuck yourself? Because I'm really lost at what you went to do.
No, I was making a joke. Get up and come back and say, I went and fucked myself, but y'all beat me to the punchline.
Melissa Todd wants to know if I've ever met Dave McCrae. In person, no, but we've actually passed one another. We passed one another at TIFF in 2018. He was with Bruce. In fact, I believe I saw him holding one of those selfie sticks, and he was walking. So we passed one another, and we didn't really know each other too well then. We'd only talked once. And so no, not as of yet. But I did speak with Dave today about a bunch of things that you can't know about yet. And we'll talk about next week here on the channel sometime.
Jason Momoa touched my arm once.
Ooh. How'd that make you feel?
That's pretty great.
It was pretty amazing.
That would make me feel pretty special.
Was it intoxicating?
It was. I thought I got touched by God.
That's
breaking news. Jason Momoa is God.
Yeah.
Straight from Kieran.
Pretty much. I don't know.
Do you have a source for that? Oh, Tommy has an echo, apparently. Yes, he does. All right. We fixed Tommy's echo. Apologies. It's fixed. It's all Tommy's fault. Also joining us this evening, he is the host, or co-host anyways, of a program that I don't think has aired yet.
No.
And him and I are going to have a conversation about this when we go off air, because I feel like I have a fix for him that will fix the issues that he's having. And I mean, he has a ton of issues. I can't fix them all, but I might be able to fix them.
Stop.
I might be able to fix this one if I don't break the shit that I have in here.
You're making issues while you're talking right now.
I'm making issues. Somebody go grab the tissues. Anyways, he is one of the hosts for Bros Before Pros Gaming. It's Mr. Janet. How's it going, man?
I'm just distracted by this sweater. Is that I don't think you can call that a sweater.
It's not a sweater. It's actually super thin.
It's a I feel like it would fit better with Tommy on his man bun phase.
Oh, man. I'm about to go in a man bun phase, so it's almost there.
The calligraphy or whatever that's on your shirt reminds me of some of the writing we see on the Smallville cave wall in the earlier seasons.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Well, it's got a bunch of Buddhas and stuff on it.
I was going to say, it looks more Indian, like more...
It is. It's got
Asian Pacific Indian than native.
It's got some really
Indian.
crazy Buddhas, and I believe it's like... It's got like all these symbols that are like Buddhist symbols.
Tommy's audio should be fixed, everybody. I'm reading no active NDI source, so that should be good.
Blah, blah, blah. Testing, blah, blah, blah.
Also joining us, fresh off of a very successful Rick and Morty fan show, it's Kieran. How's it going, man?
It's going fantastic. Was a really good show. I got to award a prize, which was really cool. I got to, it was cool. It was fun. We did an art competition, so I had like lots of awesome submissions in there, and I got to actually like directly talk to the artists and critique their work. I'm not like really an art critique, but I got to say what I liked about it, and it made for a really good show in my opinion. So it was awesome, and now we get to talk about all the other crazy shit that went on. So I'm excited.
Poppy said that he once seen Val Kilmer take X-Lax once. Oh, no, sorry. He's seen him at LAX once.
Oh, okay.
I was a little more interested in the other story than running into him in LAX.
Well, I mean, I don't know what kind of connections Poppy has. I mean,
that would have been a much more interesting story than seeing him in LAX. I mean, it's LAX. That's
kind of
not surprising, but to see Val Kilmer take X-Lax, that's
just right up there on your bucket list.
Well, no, but it'd be a much more interesting story than I saw him in LAX.
True.
I mean, that's like I was at a convention and I saw William Shatner. Okay.
Yeah, lots of people did that.
So did I. I seen him go off
Val
on a fan. So.
Fucking Val Kilmer is shitting all over the place.
Would you leave me the fuck alone? It's like
he just fucking opened the bathroom door and he's like, "Fuck off."
Mr. David Cameron wants to know if there's any news on Haddonfield the Vanished. Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about it for a bit. Haddonfield the Vanished is actually a Haddonfield trilogy. Haddonfield the Vanished is a middle part in that trilogy. The first one is the Haddonfield Slayer. Haddonfield Slayer will begin filming as long as things stay on pace in the summer. Haddonfield the Vanished, which has already begun filming, we're stuck because we need to re-rent the location that we shot at in November, and they're not even like listening to people until the vaccine is more widespread here in Canada. And last time I checked, who really knows when
we're
that's
down
going to
to
be? So
75-year-olds can get it now.
So, oh wow.
At the current rate, we'll get it in.
Oh, I mean,
next February.
Kieran will have it soon. So.
Well, I'm talking to the general public.
I'll have it. The movie can just be all me.
Nobody wants to watch that.
Everybody wants to watch that.
This is the way the show works, ladies and gentlemen.
Watch it, Kieran.
If you want to have your say and you want to support the channel on that level, send in a super chat with a question and or a comment, no matter what it is. We will read it on air as long as it's not, racial or
as long as it's appropriate. Let's say that.
No, it doesn't even have to be appropriate.
I'm saying appropriate to our level, which is it's still it's a very low bar.
This is true. Yeah,
but
I get
still,
that. You could still say like "fuck the Packers."
Yeah, and other things. So send in a super chat if you want to support the channel on that level. We will read it on air. Otherwise, we will we'll pick out comments here and there as the show goes on.
Tickle our fancy.
We'll save some Q&A to the end. Look, we just don't have time to get to everybody. It's not a matter of not appreciating what everybody does, because we do. We appreciate the support that you guys provide us on like a deeper level than I think any of you understand. So yeah, I just want to say happy belated birthday to my fiance, who some of you know has been going through a real rough time as of late, and that I love you. And yeah, all right, we can move on with the show.
I'm curious to know exactly what Solid Saturn is on in the chat.
Solid Saturn is typically on a lot of
to
things.
ask a question like is mayonnaise an instrument?
Everything's an instrument.
I mean, I can make mayonnaise an instrument.
Have you ever listened
No.
to Frank Zappa? He
No.
makes fucking everything an instrument.
Who's Frank? No, I'm kidding.
Okay, we'll just skip to the next.
Toronto
topic.
Freddy says Zack Snyder's Justice League is a fucking masterpiece. Well, we're going to talk about that. A non-spoiler review. It will be a spoiler review of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, though, and then we'll do a spoiler review once we have someone else.
They're
on
gonna
the show.
spoil the one that I didn't watch, but I'm not allowed to spoil the one that this guy didn't watch.
Oh, frankly, I don't give a damn.
So
I
Can
mean,
we do
so
spoilers then?
if you're holding that out solely on my account, no need.
I also
No,
don't
Tommy
give a
hasn't.
damn.
That's what I'm
but
saying.
I
If
didn't
it's
see
solely
it,
on my
so-
account,
we,
no need.
at the end of the day, to do full spoiler reviews of both and talk about the Halloween stuff and touch on the Star Wars stuff, we would never get it done in an hour and a half, and we really can't go longer than an hour and a half tonight.
What? We can't go
So,
3 hours tonight.
No, but you know what? The weather is getting warmer, and we've talked about this. We take that little laptop outside with an extra webcam and the Rodecaster, and we do a show live in front of a campfire. That is going to happen 150%. We're going to have a campfire night. Might even be a watch-along where we have a TV off to the side, and we do a fun watch-along and maybe a couple of faces you're not used to seeing on the channel. So look for that. John says, do you guys think WB will change their minds and get Snyder back in? No. Let's start right there. Whatever you've seen in that movie, it's for my opinion, doesn't represent those guys or Tommy up there. But I can tell you from everything that we know, and this is straight out of the horse's mouth, Zack Snyder has said WB is not interested in doing anything more with him. So everybody that thought that this was going to spur on more, regardless of what you've seen in the movie, if you really believe there's more coming, you are setting yourself up for massive disappointment.
If they think it'll make money.
Right, but they have too much, like, you'd be talking 10 years from now.
They're not going to throw away everything they've done to try and salvage the DCEU to go backwards.
Yeah.
And that's what Snyder would be doing. He'd be going backwards.
Yeah, they're no longer doing that. Like, they hardly reference things in Aquaman. They've already said they're basically not going to reference anything in Aquaman 2. The Flash movie that's coming out doesn't have Ben Affleck in it. It has Michael Keaton's Batman in it, so it's likely a Flash from
It's
a
Flashpoint.
different...
It's Flashpoint
right?
movie.
So,
that was the plan.
Which they can't. Oh,
They've already set the standard for that when they had Ezra Miller pop up in the Flash TV series to establish the multiverse exists.
yeah.
So
I
they've
don't
already
think
done
I'm going to be able to do this show without spoiling. God,
Just try to...
go.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Anyways, we'll get to that in a few. Let's start here, guys. So Zack was on the network last week. He hosts Fandom News Now. He also hosts the Intergalactic Peace Coalition, another great podcast alongside Ben Hart. Guy is very accurate most of the time, but Zack and I got into a debate on air last week. He was talking, and I had to interrupt him, and he had gone on and said, I believe this was on Fandom Empire Live, he said this. He had said that that movie theaters only get to keep about 10% of the profits from each movie, to which I had to interject there. It's not a matter of, I'm gonna show you how big my fucking dick is. It's a matter of the reason this channel has grown is because of accurate information. Are we always right? No. But we are more often right than we are wrong, and it's not even close. So I do feel the need to correct Zack, and I haven't talked to Zack about this, so Zack is entitled to his opinion. I'm just giving you what the facts are after talking to people on both sides of the industry and already knowing what I knew before, knowing what Frank Riker and Darren Sand said. It's not 10%. It's 40 to 45%. And that's usually a starting point for the bigger movies. That's usually not what it actually is. It's usually more than that for the bigger movies. So like it's not even remotely close to 10%. This is talking to people that work for theaters high up, and this is talking to a couple of people that work for a couple of extremely well-known production companies.
I think, I can't speak because I obviously didn't hear the facts he said, but I imagine that some of the more niche theater chains, like the smaller ones, like some of the ones, like he's got that diner one, that dine-in one in Texas. I can't remember the name of it. Mono was always talking about it.
Yeah, no, that's
pretty I don't know how much but that seems like a more average number for a niche chain who doesn't have, because like most theaters, they pay it in a lump sum.
Representation.
Most theaters pay a lump sum.
No, it's not that way anymore. It's just to be on the level. It used to be a lump sum. And depending on what the movie is, they can negotiate that. But, I mean, it might go back to a lump sum after COVID because, I mean, where the hell have movie theaters been for the last who knows how long now? But it's absolutely a percentage. And we're talking for some of, like, the massive blockbuster films, some of them are over 50%.
Right, but I don't know for sure, but isn't it a per-showing thing? Like, every time they show it, they cost the money. Even if nobody buys a ticket to the showing, they still have to pay to show it.
For sure.
So that's why I'm saying lumps. Like there's the minimum requirement.
Well, no, they're not paying to show it. They get that. So if you, Kieran, and I go to the movie theaters and it's $10 a ticket, which by the way is not that cheap up here, that's $30. They get 40 to 45% of that. The companies who make the movie get the rest. Sometimes if you got a director like Nolan who for Tenet was able to negotiate 20% of all profits. That's not after you make a profit. That's no matter if the movie loses money,
that's
like Tenet did.
Yeah.
He gets
Tenet,
20%.
maybe that wasn't a great deal.
I mean, I think it depends on the contract, right? Because there's the gross profit and the net profit. Most of them are smart enough to get it off the. It's the gross profit, right? It's the actual profit, not the profit the company makes. So if you're getting if you're getting points on the gross, the movie could lose $200 million. You're still making a relative buttload, assuming it makes 50 to 60 million. Even that, if you're getting 10 points on a 50 to 60 million, you're still making 10 million extra.
My big thing with it though is if Zack would have said it was 30% or 35%, probably wouldn't even brought it up. But to put out there that it's 10%, it really isn't anywhere like that to my knowledge, and I just wanted to correct that. I tried to correct it on air, but he was pretty adamant about it, and I just simply had to come back on here and correct that just because we got a lot of messages during that show saying quite a few things.
You got a super chat.
Yeah, we got a super chat that you really need to,
You should read it twice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sean thinks he's so god-like. We got to see him twice. Intel, I love you, buddy, but what the fuck gibberish am I reading here, bro? Sean thinks he's so godlike, we gotta see ... that we gotta see him twice on the screen. You know what?
Don't go. He's going to give you the boo. Oh, I thought he was going to give you the boo.
There's an app for that.
You know what? I don't like the way it looks. It doesn't cover the bottom. So you get to see me twice. Deal with it. How's LeBron doing?
Ow!
Sorry. Probably doing as well as our Leafs, which is not very good lately. So, I heard Anthony Davis is out too.
So's LeBron. Yeah.
Good luck, Lakers.
LeBron's got a high ankle, so he's out for.
Yeesh.
I mean, AD's out day to day.
Stop. Intel, we love you, bro. You know that. Man. I trust you with shit that I don't tell anybody else.
It was right on point. I don't know why you're upset about it.
Mark Ryan says, I'm pumped for the It's Me Billy trailer on Friday. I love the teaser. So I hope this gets me more pumped. It doesn't look like a fan film. Oh, man, I don't know what I can say about this right now.
It's non-spoiler, like everything else.
Yeah, I know.
No, I'm just kidding.
We're going to have Dave on the channel either next week. There's a little bit of delay in mine, I'm noticing, which is a little frustrating. Oh, yeah, no, there's a delay. That's horrible. So thank you, YouTube, again, for causing us issues. Bear with the delay, everyone. We're doing our best to work through it. So I'll say this. I've seen things that others have not, and I hope you enjoy Friday. And yeah, we'll have Dave, and we're trying to get Dave and Bruce on at the same time. We've never done that. We've had Dave McRae on a bunch of times. Never had Dave and Bruce on at the same time, and so that's what we're going for. If we can't, then we'll just get Dave on. Let's move into the good stuff, though, here. We're going to talk about Halloween Kills. We're going to get to Halloween Kills. Let's dive into our non-spoiler review of the Snyder Cut, so that's going to bench Johnny and Tommy for a few here. We'll keep it relatively short. We want to know what... ouch, that hurt, Sean, on LeBron. You guys won a championship. If the Leafs won a championship next year, I'd be fine with them sucking for the next 2 decades. So,
okay, well, I'm going to need you to not put that in the universe, okay?
You're telling me you wouldn't trade 1 cup for 2 decades of suckage? I would. I'm 32 fucking years old, man. They haven't fucking won a cup. I'll suck for 30 years. I will suck things for the Leaf to win the cup.
You can trade that. That's fine. I don't want to trade 20 years of suckage for that. I mean, I can't deal with 20 years of suckage again.
I feel like you're going to get it.
You and I got to have a talk. I'm
not saying I wouldn't trade the cup for a lot of things, but
man.
Another 2 decades of 10 years of suckage I'm okay with.
Our boy Matt Whitfield says, "How's that Blue Jays season look?" It's going about as it's going about as well as I said it was going to go. When you don't have depth and you act like you're going to spend a bunch of money and you spend it on 1, maybe 2 players, and then decide, you know what, we don't need pitching, we don't. And in a matter of 24 hours, Kirby Yates is done for the season. Will probably never throw a pitch for the Toronto Blue Jays. We have George Springer with a grade 2 oblique strain and may not be ready for opening day. It's second time it's happened, by the way, this spring, and that could linger for who knows how long. And then Robbie Ray fell down the stairs with his child, protected the child, but hurt himself and also may not be ready for opening day. To go along with Nate Pearson being hurt again, Thomas Hatch being hurt again. It's going great in Blue Jays land. Now let's get to the fandom stuff, because I'm sure all the Americans that are watching right now, which is most of our fan base, don't give a rat's ass about what's happening with the Toronto Maple Leafs and Toronto Blue Jays. So, Kieran, on to the Snyder Cut. Everybody, when you get a chance, post what you thought of the Snyder Cut, spoiler-free in the chat. If you want it read on air, send in a super chat. We'll read it on air. If not, we'll pick up 1 or 2. Kieran, what are your sort of in-depth, spoiler-free thoughts on the Snyder Cut as a whole, and maybe compared to that thing we got a couple of years ago?
Actually, you know what? It kind of makes it look like as if they had to rush it and throw it out originally. Now, when you see all the things that you see in the Snyder Cut, you're like, why did they not include the, why, did they rush this? Did they have to rush this when they switched? Or did, it's Feige, right? Feige that took over?
No, it was Joss Whedon.
Joss Whedon, yeah, okay, sorry. Joss Whedon took over, and it's like, man, with what we've seen now that was there, how did he fuck it up that badly? But I don't want to talk about the shit Justice League movie that came out. I want to talk about the good Justice League movie we just got. It's very Zack Snyder-ish. So if you liked the Watchmen movie, then you'll definitely like it. It's got the same sort of character building. It's got the same tone. There are some odd choices in music, which is something that is done in Snyder movies. There's also there's in the fight scenes, there's some stuff that bothers me a little bit, and fight scenes I'm always super critical of fight scenes, because I feel like I could direct fight scenes.
It's almost like you've participated in one.
Yeah, it's almost like that was pretty fun. So I mean, without going into any spoilers, those are some things that I kind of was picky about, but the character development is so much better. And I mean, obviously time will do that, but they also made really good choices. Steppenwolf is a way better character. They made him a character that has a reason to do the things he does. He's got a really good arc instead of just being a like fucking paint by numbers, like bad guy in a cartoon. Like he was almost like a fucking like bad 80s cartoon bad guy in the original cut, and then this one he's way more fleshed out. And you know, it happens for almost every character. Cyborg is way more fleshed out. Like he's almost the center of some of this movie now, and like it was amazing. I like a lot of the parts that have to do with Ezra Miller's Flash better. I like parts that have to do with Aquaman better. The other characters are slightly better, and Superman is almost the same or less, I think. But like it just expands all the characters' arcs so much, and they get to weave in there, and they really feel like a team when it comes down to it. Whereas it seemed like it was just like a badly rushed, like put together film with no chemistry between the characters before, except maybe Gal Gadot and Affleck kind of felt like they had some pretty good chemistry in the original, but like the characters had they almost seemed like they had no reason to be together, and like they don't even want to be together. But in this cut, in the Snyder Cut, they feel like a team. They feel like it makes sense. And I mean, they made me want to expand on that. I'm not sure they're going to expand on it. You're probably right, but yeah, I feel like if this was what we got originally, we'd be in a way different place. And yeah, I would say number one reason to watch it is the characters are just so much more well developed.
What would you give it out of 10?
It does need a second watch, which is hard for a 4-hour.
Yeah, no, that's...
I'd say 8.5 out of 10.
8.5. So I think this movie makes The Last Jedi look good. No, I'm kidding. This was my stance going into watching the movie, is I felt like a bunch of people were going to watch this movie and be like, oh, well, there's no way it can be as bad as Joss Whedon's terrible take on it, and just fall in love with it for that reason alone. And I absolutely do think there's those people out there that, I don't just think, I know, I've seen it, where people either think it's a masterpiece or it's the best comic book film ever made. And again, I'm speaking only for myself, but no, it's not a masterpiece. And no, I don't think that it's the best comic book movie ever made. I do think it's a movie that is very, very good. The tone of the movie, the color choices, the character development. I don't even like calling it a movie because it felt more like a, how do I put it? It felt more like a mini-series. A mini-series, yeah, very much so. Almost like a one-off mini-series. I like the storytelling choices. Steppenwolf, who you mentioned right off the top, like that character alone is like, you look at what he gets to do in this film and why he's doing it compared to that just dog shit movie we see in theaters. It's like, where it's just like, oh, it's just this CG guy who we have no idea really why he's doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
And
before he was no better than like in the first Thor movie, that big metal thing that just runs around shooting things like. And
it definitely not like that in this. He was so much better. Your points on Cyborg. Cyborg was like the story they tell about him as a character and his family really hits home. I thought Affleck again was really good as we don't get to see him too much as Bruce Wayne in this movie. It's a lot of Batman, but I thought he was really good. I was really worried that for a 4-hour movie, I would not be how would I put it? I would not be into it. I talked
you
about pacing.
invested,
right?
or-
Yeah, I talked about pacing being an issue, and the best way I can best way I can describe it is I had to watch it I think we watched it in 3 parts, basically, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think at the end of the movie, it kind of needs to just end, and it just keeps going and going and going.
Yeah, actually, I feel like the movie is 3 hours and 20 minutes, and then the after stuff that happens is kind of like separate from the movie in my mind. Like, if I was going to watch it again, I don't know if I would watch all that jazz at the end. And like, I'm not going to spoil any of it, but it's almost like the last Lord of the Rings, where you see the extended edition of Return of the King, and there's just things and things and things that happen at the end.
I think the best way I put it is, here's a bunch of stuff that you're likely never going to see any payoff for, as they show. And I don't know. I just I really enjoyed the movie. It was way better than I was expecting. Like, I remember saying to Jade, I'm like, after we got like an hour and 15 minutes into it on our first watch, and I was just like, holy crap, this is pretty good. You know, like, I'm thoroughly enjoying this. Wow. But no, it's not The Dark Knight. It's not even The Dark Knight Rises. I realize that film's controversial to some people. It's not Joker, you know. I can't put it in there with any of those movies. But it's a really, really good comic book movie, or miniseries if you want to look at it that way. And like, it just goes to show, and Johnny, you can attest to this one, because we've talked about a bunch of Warner Brothers products over the years. WB has been labeled as a company that does not stop meddling in productions. And it's clear as day. Obviously, Zack Snyder didn't get to complete his original vision of the movie after his daughter tragically committed suicide. But like, when you see this, whenever you get around to seeing it, is like, it's painfully clear that WB didn't just go and finish his movie. They changed as much as that movie that they could without having to reshoot the entire thing on its original release. Mm-hmm. And WB just meddles in shit, and it's too bad. And I know there's a lot of people that want to see payoff for this, but look, you got the Batman coming, you got the Flashpoint movie coming, you got Aquaman 2 coming. The Batman itself is going to be 3 movies. You got, it sounds like a J.J. Abrams Superman movie, which I'm not particularly interested in. They're going a different direction. Could it change direction 5 or 10 years from now? Yeah, but there's not time for that right now. They're not going to just be like, let's scrap a whole slate because we fucked up. They're never going to admit that. And Zack Snyder himself has admitted to WB again, telling him he couldn't have certain things in his cut. So it's not, even though this is the Snyder Cut, there were still things that were filmed that they would not let him put back in. So what they were, I don't know. I would give it a 7.5 or an 8 out of 10. And I want to say I gave Justice League when it first came out like a 3 out of 10. So. Oh
man, yeah.
So that's where I am.
Might be a little bit higher for me, but not much. It's at most a 5.
So yeah, there you have it. There's our take on the Snyder Cut. Apologies for Johnny and Tommy sort of being benched on that one, but they haven't seen it yet. Let's talk about something
4 hours,
we can all relate to here. We're gonna shift gears and talk a little bit of Star Wars. The OG Clone Wars is returning, aka the Samurai Jack Clone Wars. No, this does not mean it's canon. I see this everywhere. It means it's canon. No, they've already literally released a statement saying it is not canon. This is just more content to put on Disney+.
It's still real to me, damn it.
Tommy, we haven't heard from you in a bit, man. What do you remember from the Clone Wars micro shorts?
So I remember the premiere. Wow, I was young as shit.
I was young then, so you were a baby.
Yeah, basically. I'm just hanging in the downstairs basement, waiting for this big new Star Wars series to premiere. And maybe it was known it was going to be a micro series. Maybe it wasn't. My little, whatever the fuck. What was the premiere? What was the premiere on that?
When was it out?
When was it out?
Yeah, let's find out.
2003.
Star Wars.
3?
I think it was 2003. And then I believe they followed it up with the longer episodes in 2004 or early 2005.
Yeah, that's too.
We knew they were going to be short episodes. We didn't know they were only going to be like 2 or 3 minutes long, though.
Yeah, so like, I turn TV on. I'm watching Cartoon Network. You gonna see this or what? And then suddenly this thing comes on. It lasts a few minutes. I'm watching it, and I'm like, oh, that was a cool little teaser, like a nice little commercial. Okay, where's the rest? And then the next thing came on, whatever the hell was on at the time. Who knows? What could have been Johnny Bravo at that point. It could have been Ed, and Eddie. Fuck if I know. That sheep show on Cartoon Network. But whatever came on next came on, and I'm just friggin' sitting there. In these days, if shit like that happened, you better believe we'd be blowing up Twitter and Facebook and all the socials saying, what the fuck was that? But
Different time.
different time for sure.
You
Different
can go on
time,
MySpace
different
and
world.
complain.
I'm to this day, I remember my shock. I'm like, where was it? And I'm like, where's the Star Wars?
And you quickly went on to like MSN Messenger or Yahoo Messenger and just were like, oh my God, this was terrible. Actually, I liked them, but they're really
yeah,
short.
I was going to say, it wasn't terrible. It's just like, where's the sustenance? Come on.
How about you, Johnny? What are your memories of that? I could be wrong. When that thing first aired, this only happened for episode 1, I believe, because I think it was on Cartoon Network in the States, which we didn't get. Up here, it showed on Teletoon.
Yeah.
But for the very first episode, it didn't actually cut over to the Star Wars till the very end. So you like seen the last 10 seconds of the episode, and then like the little Clone Wars staticky thing came in, and that was it. I was just like, what?
I honestly don't remember. I don't even remember if I watched it the first time. I just remember how short it was. You know, it's just like that's what stands out for me. That it's not something I could get into because it was so short. You know, I mean, yes, I was, almost 20 years younger at that point.
That's a scary thought.
And even then, the idea of a 3-minute anything was just too damn short. Like when a trip to the bathroom is longer than an episode of a television show, something is wrong. And that's
TMI.
Are you saying you got 3 minutes?
Oh, God.
Jesus Christ.
No, he's doing a thing that's...
I mean, you might have
you'd
3 minutes
understand
in
the
that
thing.
way.
You'd
but
understand the thing, but we're not...
doesn't matter if you have
Warning?
15 years,
3-minute
8
warning.
months, or 3 minutes. I love that. And he's just like, wait a second. Did I just say 3 minutes? Oh, my God.
Anyone in the chat who gets that gets 100 points.
Oh, for sure. Oh, my God. What a great promo.
Sean spent so much time in the last... God, again, that's like 20 years ago at this point. Reciting that promo. 20 years later, he still knows it word for word.
20 years later.
Yes.
You guys are old as shit.
Fuck you, man. Fuck you. Fuck you.
I mean...
Man, everybody's got to get old someday.
Fuck you, Tommy with an I.
You'll get yours. You'll get yours, youngin'.
It's probably an appropriate time to let everybody know that this is not a show safe for young children. It's also almost 10 o'clock on the
I'm pretty
East
sure
Coast.
I made a jerking off joke in the
You
first
did.
2
You
minutes.
did. 2 minutes in, you're talking about whacking it. So,
Which is
Intel
probably
Wild.
not even a record.
If
Intel.
that didn't work, our chat was scaring people away by asking Kieran if he splooged when...
Wait, did they ask
Yeah,
that?
Matt Whitfield asked if you jizzed yourself when
Oh,
Jason
man.
Momoa went
You'll
down.
Did you
never know.
splooge, Kieran?
You'll
Did
never
you?
know. I'm not telling anybody what goes on beyond the line here. Like this fucking... You
All
don't
right,
want to
I'll
know what's
ask you
going
when the
on
show's
beyond
over.
this line, man.
Nobody knows what happens in my pants.
We just got canceled. Oh, no.
I'm trying my best to get us canceled.
Intel Wild sends in a $5 super chat for Fandom Empire. Well, excuse me, it's for the fan. No, I'm kidding. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Reverse says 3-minute warning. Yes, that's exactly what it was.
Did I finish my point? You went on a 3-minute warning promo. I don't even
can't
remember.
help. I can't fall. First of all, I thought you were saying
You're doing that Johnny thing again.
Right, where you just keep
fucking
going
tell us if
on
you
and
liked it or
on.
not.
I went on for like a minute.
I thought you were saying that you last
They were
3 minutes
short.
in the bedroom, and I was going to say
20 years ago, I probably did.
I was going to say that's a little generous, don't you think? But then I'm like, oh, 3-minute warning.
And now Kieran has a look on his face like, how the hell would you know how long he can last in the bedroom?
Don't look at the VHSs over there on the floor. It's just bad news, okay? So,
Excuse me, sir? Pardon me.
wow. LR Artunist, who is in your Rick and Morty fan show stream, says,
Yeah.
thank God I'm 18 then.
She won.
Was she the one that sent in the 3 different ones?
No, that was Misty. She sent in 3, but she did the purple and green one that won the competition.
Yeah, don't forget, everybody, hit the like button. Helps the channel, helps other people find the videos. You know, some of the stuff that's gone on in this stream tonight, people may not want to find. But in general, it's usually a pretty good time. Also, Toronto Freddy says that Tom Matthews, a.k.a. Tommy Jarvis, just became a producer on the My Special Boy fan film. I guess this is the appropriate time to let you guys know, although y'all some clowns. Yeah, the clowns is an understatement, man.
Are you new?
That's I've kind of been working up to being a clown my whole life. So
Are you new to the channel? Because that's not something we've ever hidden.
This is a good time to let everybody know that the man behind My Special Boy, Mr. James Grimm, is going to be on the channel. He reached out on the weekend. He asked if he could come on and promote the movie. I just got a chance to get back to him today. I didn't know about the Tom Matthews thing until today. But we're going to get James on. He's going to get a chance to plug his fan film. It looks absolutely fantastic. And it's going to be a lot of fun to have James on. We're going to figure out dates. I know we're supposed to do a watch along with Frank and Darren this weekend, Tommy and I believe on the Sunday. And then I think we have Lee McCoy on the Wednesday next week and Dave McRae on another day. And I think Jimmy Champagne's the following. But things are crazy. There's a lot happening. And then we also have a Patreon stream, not Easter weekend, but the weekend after that. We'll be doing Lambkin Lane, followed the week after by the Fandom Empire Underground. Johnny, final thoughts on the Clone Wars micro series. Was it never your cup of tea, or now?
No, it was never my cup of tea because it was too short. I couldn't get into it because it was so short.
But what about being able to watch? I think there's 20 of the short ones and 5 of the longer ones.
Once it gets on Disney Plus and I can just spend the hour watching them.
I think you can watch the whole thing in like 2 hours.
Okay, I'm estimating it like 3 minutes a piece, 20. But yeah, so I mean, in the 2 hours it'll take to watch them all, will I do it? Probably if I'm bored. Yeah, but I'm not going out of my way to watch them. I mean, there's so much stuff that has gone up on Disney Plus in the last month that I still haven't watched yet that I plan to watch, once they added on all that Stars content last month.
There's some good content there, too.
There's some amazing content. The fact that, I said this in my in the football chat, the fact I could watch The League on Disney Plus is just ridiculous to me. And then I'm watching Super Troopers on Disney Plus. Like, if there are two things that are anathema to each other, it's Super Troopers and Disney.
What fucking word did you use? What the?
It's a $10 word.
Anathema.
Yes.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
It's an SAT word.
You guys are too smart for me. Well, with words at least. Your fucking opinions are dog shit.
That is your hypothesis.
I noticed that today. Yeah, you were just like, well, should this just be the Freddie Anderson opinion thing in our hockey chat we had going on?
Yeah.
It's like,
you guys talk about Freddie Anderson every day.
We're all being very hyperbolic today.
So.
We're just going to start bringing out a whole bunch of big words and see who actually understands them. That's the plan for the
You're going to love this one. David Irwin says, Phantom Empire, every time I see that new intro you guys have saying, do you know where you are? All I can think of is 1990s WWF quote, do you know who I am? I am the Mountie. Him and his fucking shock stick.
But are you handsome, brave, and strong?
I mean, depends who you ask. Depends who you ask. I know Tommy's had a thing for me for a while, which, Jade gets jealous of, so. You all right over there, Tommy? Well, what's so funny, man? Wow.
You're full. You're something else.
Oh, I'm definitely something else.
Yeah.
Are you talking
are
about
you
the Clone Wars yet?
Are you upset he's telling people about your secret
Clone Wars
relationship?
micro shorts.
Okay.
How do you feel, man?
It's fucking awesome. It's way better than the Clone Wars that we got after that. It's
Are you fucking for
You
real?
remember that thing we said? You remember that point where you said that our opinions were all wrong?
Wow.
It's fucking way better than the Clone Wars.
There's a reason it only
series.
lasted 22 episodes.
All of it?
It's better. It's better. It's awesome.
Like,
Fucking
Like as an
amazing.
overall product, you like it better, or like you like it better than like the first couple seasons of the Clone Wars? Or?
I like it better than the Clone Wars.
He likes it a lot.
Yeah.
Wow, that's.
I call it the Gandhi Clone Wars.
I mean, I know
I
a
like the
lot of
Gandhi
people
Clone
really
Wars
like
better.
that series. I personally also really like it, but that sounds like kind of a hot take, especially
man.
later the Clone Wars.
Yeah, I like it better. I wish, like, if I could keep one, I'd keep that one over the other one.
Why?
Because there's so
Because
much.
he's just plain wrong.
There's so much garbage in the other Clone Wars. Like, there's so much stuff I just want to skip over every time I try to watch through it. And like, oh fuck this arc. How long does it last?
And you get mad at us for disliking The Last Jedi?
Yeah, The Last Jedi is awesome. It's fucking amazing.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's amazing. The fights are awesome. Grievous is way better in this. Like, Grievous is a fucking badass. And
his debut in it, where he takes on the
yeah,
oh, that
yeah,
is
he
badass.
takes off. Yeah, he's awesome in this show.
It's very easy to look badass in 3 minutes.
Title of your sex tape.
Yeah. And I'm saying yeah for Johnny, not for me.
Yeah.
I'm 3.5. Thank you.
This isn't even one of my like silly takes that I just want to annoy you guys
I
with.
can't be mad at the Andy Pro.
I actually do like this show better than the other Clone Wars. And the other Clone Wars has lots of great points in it, probably higher highs, but it also has like a lot of lower lows for me.
He's just an Ahsoka hater.
I'm
That's what
not
it is.
a big fan of Ahsoka.
I think we might be reaching
I
the
don't
point
love
where
Ahsoka.
Kieran's the hater in this channel.
I was the evil one all along.
I believe it.
It's probably true.
Jade asked for the boo button.
You
got
guys-
the boo button.
You guys don't know me well enough to know. Well, he kind of does.
We've
Don't
been
know me
podcasting
well
for
enough to know
5
that I
years,
was
Sean.
always the bad guy.
We've been podcasting for 5 years now, and I'm saying 4 or 5 years. I know it's over that at this point, but
6, almost 7.
almost. Okay, is it really?
And that's the best
2015,
fucking
16,
opinion
17,
you've
18,
ever heard.
19, 20, 21.
Okay, I guess I'm just counting numerically, not full.
You just don't know how to count. I understand. It's okay.
Go fuck yourself.
And
you
you're
know-
still trying to figure out how many rings Tom Brady's won. I get it. I understand.
No, I can count them.
It's almost like comparing a movie to a series, and it's hard to do because
I'm actually trying to compliment you, and like you just keep railroading it there. But I'm trying to say that we've been doing this for over 5 years now, and Sage Hates Everything has been like the theme of the last 4. It might be time to pass that hashtag on to Kieran.
I love The Last Jedi, though.
You love The Last Jedi?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Well, I mean, that says something.
I don't
It
hate
just
it.
shows how wrong you are about so many things. You hate good stuff and love bad stuff.
Oh, by the way, go on back to the Snyder Cut. The overuse of slow motion killed me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I agree.
I told Jade, I'm like,
I saw a statistic today that said that like 17% is in slow motion.
I don't know if it's
they were
that high,
trying-
but there's
They were
too
trying
much.
to get like this really epic feel, and that
Slow motion
ended
does
up-
not make things
it
epic.
ended up being like the movie 300, when you're like, oh man, this is awesome, and then later you're like, fucking stop doing that. Like,
So what you're saying is Zack Snyder loves slow motion like
Don't
J.J.
you
Abrams
start
like
that
lens
shit.
flares?
Oh, it's
Don't start
way
that
worse.
shit.
than
that was
lens
my
flare.
thought. That came in my head right when you said that. Lens flares. Yeah, I remember that.
Don't you do this, Kieran.
What?
What's he doing? What's he doing, Tommy? Tell us. We
don't
gotta
talk
know.
shit about 300.
Yeah, but like, did you like all that?
300, where King Leonidas is a motherfucking masterpiece.
Oh, I love the movie. I love the movie. I'm just saying.
I will throw out the entire sequel trilogy for 300.
Time out. Did you just say 300 is a masterpiece?
Yes.
What the hell is wrong with you?
You don't like 300?
I never said. Hey, what? Oh my God.
You just gotta reserve the word
That's
masterpiece.
it. Look, yeah. The misfucking use of the word masterpiece by people drives me absolutely up the wall. It either has to be complete fucking utter dog shit or it's a masterpiece. It's like there's no fucking middle ground.
Like Leprechaun is a masterpiece.
You knew he was going to do that. You knew it was coming. You had to know.
Not every film is a masterpiece.
Just Leprechaun.
Okay,
It just
but
isn't.
But 300 is.
Oh God. Dude.
I mean, I think the use of the phrase masterpiece is.
I think we should do
Okay,
a masterpiece.
maybe masterpiece is a little bit much.
You know
but
what?
I will
I
tell
think-
you.
I think
just a bit.
masterpiece implies awesomeness universally. Like if I say the Mona Lisa is a masterpiece,
What's that? Is that the girl from Saved by the Bell?
Why don't we have any buttons here?
I agree.
All right, that's good. That's good.
I'm feeling. I don't know if you've watched it or not, but I'm feeling a bit like Donovan Bennett on Tim and Friends, where he's just like, "Why
he's
don't
the
I
weak
get
link.
buttons?" And that's what it's like. I want the buttons over here. Like we need a button panel right here that we can use.
Yeah,
You guys are welcome to pay for buttons, and we'll.
I guess that's right.
These buttons are expensive. Okay, only I get to touch these buttons.
I like this. I like this compliment. This comment at the end.
I want to start bringing my own buttons.
Halloween '78 is a masterpiece.
Patrick Harnett says Halloween '78 is a masterpiece. We'll give it to
I think we should do a masterpiece list.
a masterpiece.
We should
list?
all bring in our masterpiece.
I
list.
like that idea. Let's
Okay,
do a
number
masterpiece.
one, Chris
show.
Masters.
All right.
That was literally
I like
the
Chris
masterpiece. Like
Masters.
that was the whole gimmick.
You know what? I told you that we should do a wrestling show, and we don't have it yet. So that's your fucking fault. Let's move on.
David Irwin says Jaws is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
I need a Jaws.
Apparently,
poster in
these
here.
guys know what's up.
Yeah.
When I do this, I'm pointing at where I can see the chat. This is where y'all are in my view.
I think it works because you're pointing in the general direction of where the camera is, so it still works.
Yeah, it's true. I'm pointing at you guys. I want you.
I want you. I want you.
That
Thank you,
Whitfield.
Apollo.
What's he telling us now?
Matt Whitfield with a very generous super chat, $30. Thanks, Matt. That's appreciated. It says, Jade, happy birthday once again. For what you're dealing with, you are stronger than you think. Look at the look in the eyes of your boys, and adoring Sean when they look at you. I don't know if I'm adoring, but and know you can handle anything that's thrown at you. Yes, she can. She is.
He's a softie when he's not on the air.
I can be. Wait.
I like Matt Whitfield. He's a good dude.
Toronto Freddy wants to know why can't we call it a masterpiece if that's how we perceive it? I'm not saying you can't. Anybody, look, this guy probably thinks that fucking The Last Jedi is a masterpiece.
I think the fact is that most people who say that don't preface by saying, I believe it's a.
The Last Jedi.
If I were to say, I believe that Scream 3 is a masterpiece, okay, that's an opinion statement.
For sure.
But when you just say that this is a masterpiece, it implies universality that...
For example, Toronto Freddy in the chat earlier, and this was not, by the way, this was not towards Toronto Freddy. He has an understanding of cinema, but he said that the Snyder Cut was a masterpiece. He didn't say he thinks the Snyder Cut is a masterpiece. He said it is a masterpiece.
We have to let that breathe before we could say that, though.
There's so much recency bias when you see a movie.
I have seen like 10 to 15 articles today that call that a masterpiece.
Hey, if it's a masterpiece to Toronto Freddy, if it's a masterpiece to Jade, if it's a masterpiece to Art Wishwood, then that's great. If it's your own personal masterpiece, because at the end of the day, your personal opinion is exactly that. It is your own. You're allowed to love whatever you want. That has always been the stance here and always will be the stance here. My problem is there are so many people that either start with the movie's dog shit or the movie's a masterpiece, and it's like, can't there be any middle ground? It's like either this movie's great or it sucks. And it's like, no, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
There's lots of phrases in between.
I think you get that
fit.
more when you're on the internet than you do talking to people, though.
For example, I think The Last Jedi is a dog shit Star Wars movie. But if you look at that movie just as a piece of cinema, the score is quite good. The visuals are amazing. The editing is amazing. It's a good film. It's a really good film.
But I mean, I think
I just don't love it as a Star Wars film.
The point that differentiates what you said to a generality is the emphasis on personal opinion. Like, I think.
Yeah. And
if more people said "I think" instead of just blurting out their feelings, then everybody can agree because you're stating your opinions. Now, of course, there are going to be people who, crap on your opinion, whether or not you state it's your opinion. But everyone's entitled to their own opinion. They're like assholes. Everyone has them, and most of them stink. But again, that's opinion because everybody thinks somebody else's asshole stinks. Just general fact. But like it is what it is. Yeah, that one kind of took a left turn.
Don't look at me, man.
No, that one took a left turn that got lost somewhere between translation and my brain. It made perfect sense, and then I started actually saying it, and it's like
that was totally like a Tommy Boy moment where he tells the butcher joke.
Here's
get a good look at a T-bone steak by putting your head up a butcher's ass. Oh,
here's a prime example of someone who, like, this movie is not regarded by most as a masterpiece, but it's a masterpiece to Jade. She says, what happened?
I think it's down there.
Spice World, a Spice Girls movie, is a true masterpiece. To her, maybe. And that's fine. Again, I just want to reiterate, and I think Toronto Freddy knows me well enough to know that it was definitely not a shot at him or anyone else that's listening right now. I can just say that I can't stand how it has to be like, if there's 100 numbers between 1 and 100, why does it have to be 1 or 100? Yep. Why can't people
use the numbers in between? They're there for a reason.
Like, tell me you've never met someone that's either the movie's dog shit or it's a masterpiece. There's nothing in between. By the way, Kelly wants to know if you're willing to volunteer to get slammed through a table.
Johnny?
Yeah, apparently.
Slam through a table?
We can give him a 3D death drop.
Can I do this slamming?
You pick him up and I'll go to the other side. We can just Dudley 3D him.
Well, definitely not through any of these tables.
I don't know. We could replace these tables.
Well, this one would hurt. That one you could probably get away with.
Hard pass. It's a real wood table. Now, if you want to put me through one of those,
Are you saying that the tables in WWE
I'm
are
saying
fake?
that a solid wood slab table, which I believe this is considerably different from a compressed fiber table like they use.
Okay.
Just look at the table.
Can I go through a table
when
we do that, like when we do the next movie?
Look at a table when it breaks.
I kind of want to go through a table now.
Is Mike really actually Mike Bell?
What?
I think there's a chance that's Mike Bell.
He is saying Bill's Mafia, which he does say quite frequently. We could put that guy through the table.
Oh, are we going there? Reaver wants to know what kind of donation is it going to take to get Johnny through the table around here?
The tables around here? A lot more than you got, pal. A lot more than you got. It's like 6 digits.
I'd go through a table
Come
for
on.
like...
To go through a real table?
Come on. If someone...
a solid wood table.
Someone dropped 50,000 cash in front of you to go through a wood table... You're going to go through it. Come on. 50,000.
Okay, you put it in cash, fine. But I know Reaver well enough to know that if he puts 100 in front of me, 50 of it's probably fake.
Ouch.
But tell me I'm wrong.
Oh, man.
No, Reaver's a man of his word.
I'd go through a table for like $5.
I'm sorry, did you
$5?
Yeah, because I just want to go get McDonald's after or something.
Did you keep a straight face when you said
thought you were
Reaver's a
doing
man of his
keto.
word?
Pretty damn low there, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, Tommy's still here. How's it going, Tommy?
Tommy, why don't you just do the rest of the show? We're just kind of fucking
keto
around.
at McDonald's, just no bun.
Toronto Freddy says, I genuinely love the Snyder Cut. As far as I'm concerned, it's a masterpiece. And that's all that
fantastic.
matters. If it's a masterpiece to you, that's what counts. I just wish some people were more open-minded to have stuff in the middle.
Let's do this then. Let's do this. We'll all bring 5 movies, and then we'll all see if we can get any of those movies like everyone says yes, and then that goes on the masterpiece list.
Hang on. I missed a super chat from Tim.
Oh, you did, yeah.
Tim, who's a big-time Patreon supporter of the channel, says, showing some support. Gotta say, Godfather 2 is the definition of a masterpiece. You're not going to find many people that disagree with that. It took me a long time to see Godfather Part 2, a very long time to see it.
I spent the first 60% of our podcasting run lambasting you for not having seen the Godfather movies. So, yeah, took you a long time.
Jade says, Reeve, a personal donation to my bank account. Give me $5 and I'll go downstairs and do it. $5? That's it? We're going to break the table for $5? No, I gotta step in here and intervene. $5 is not enough.
If there wasn't like a bunch of stuff on here right now, I probably would just get up and jump through it.
You'd probably you'd have that moment.
Like, how much would it cost for me to replace this table?
More than
$5. The laptop there alone is almost $2,000.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what, like,
if it was clear.
If we cleared it off and I just jumped through it, like how much
he did
money
specify
would I
if
have
it was
to get?
clear he would do it. So the laptop.
Well, I mean, you'd have to find a table that fits and is sturdy, or you'd have to get the long rectangular one I've talked about that would be this long. You're looking at hundreds of dollars. I don't think you want to do that.
Fine.
David Cameron says The Notebook was a masterpiece. I'm going to say what's going to be probably unpopular. Opinion to most, I absolutely
I'm gonna be
agree.
Honest. Really?
I fucking think that's such a good movie. I've never read the book, but the way...
I've never experienced another guy say it's a masterpiece. Like, I've heard it's a great movie, but I don't think I've ever heard another guy say it's a masterpiece.
It would probably make one of my top 25, 30 movies of all time. Again, I've never read the book, but
That's interesting.
Ryan
Like,
Gosling, Rachel McAdams,
I don't think
James
that's
Garner.
wrong, but I'm surprised by that.
Yeah.
It's a really good film.
Probably wouldn't be in my top 100 movies.
It
but I
also
love it.
is
It's a
like
good movie.
It's so like you can't tell me you haven't either had interest in someone or been with someone whose family does not approve of you for one reason or another, typically money related, and it's really relatable to a lot of people. I know I've been in that situation before, not now, but and so I definitely related to the movie when it came out, and I do think it's a really, really good movie. That's who said that? Was it David Irwin said that? No, David Cameron. Cameron said that. So, Anyways, let's go on to Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Tommy, did you get a chance to see it?
Yeah.
All right. So, are you going to go on a long tangent when we talk about this? Is a long tangent going to happen? Because we only got about half an hour left in the show.
Well, not a long tangent.
All right. So let's get Johnny out of the way first, then we'll go to Tommy and then me.
I mean, for me, it was all about the little things. Like this episode, it was the table setter. Not a lot happened, but it set the table for a lot of things. And I was a big fan of the nods, like the little in jokes you get to little things. Like, I mean, I don't know if anybody noticed it, but Cap was still on his left when Falcon did the whole monologue and gave the shield. Cap was on his left. It was just the little funny nods like that I liked. I liked the juxtaposition of Bucky's list being on the left side of the paper. Cap's was on the right side of the paper. It's a mirror image type list. Cap's was things he wanted to do. Bucky's is people he wants to kill. I just find myself wondering if he reads the list at night before he falls asleep like Arya did. But it was all the little things that I liked. Like I like Batrock, being the guy that Sam's fighting against in the plane. Good. It was nice. Sort of juxtaposition. I like the other characters, right? Joaquin Torres is, second Falcon. I liked that. I liked all of the little nods, and I'm excited to see where they're going. Like, the end of that episode sets the table for so much for me as a fan of the comics. Like, I don't know how many people actually know who that was.
Reaver says, set the table, Johnny. I'm in your head. You did say set the table.
I did say set the table. But... there's so much coming that I'm excited for that this episode sets up. And the little nods to things in the universe as a whole. Like, I'm one of those guys that likes to pay attention to things and, look for all the little extras, nods, and things like that. And there was a nice little X-Men nod in the credits that I quite enjoyed. They mentioned the country Madripoor, which is an X-Men country that... ends up being taken over by, I think it was Hydra took it over.
It's
mutants.
It's where Wolverine goes when he hides when they think he's dead.
I think Hydra and the X-Men fight over control of the planet at different points. Yeah, but like it's a big planet that you see that name and it's like, oh, we're getting these little nods, these little ties, and I like it. I was a fan of New Cap being who he is, because that's who it is. Like, I'm interested to see where they go with the character and whether or not they stay authentic. You know, because U.S. Agent is so much is wrong with that man that as a Captain America, I love it. I love the different nods, right? Like the Falcon having the red the AI on his back.
Yeah.
You know, I'm always a fan of little nods and changes that they make from the comic books to reality and make them good. That was one of them because, you know, a mind-reading Falcon isn't going to go over, but this little, you know, AI is, and changing the flag bashers. That's actually a person in the comics, and now it's a group, which I like a lot better than making Mandarin a group instead of a person. It's the little nods, it's other things. Like, there wasn't a whole lot to write home about in this episode, but it sets the table for so much more.
Let me ask you this. Quick answer, please.
Okay.
Do they make Falcon the new Captain America by the end of this? Or do they go back to Bucky like in the comics?
Well, they both held the mantle. So it's different times and different periods, right? Like Bucky,
I think it'll be neither of them is my answer. But
Bucky took the mantle after Cap was killed, you know, in Civil War. Falcon took the mantle after Cap retired. One of the many times he's retired. So I think we're more likely to see Sam with the shield than Bucky, because Bucky's still on a redemption track. You know, he's still...
I like that they weren't together in the first episode.
I will say this, though. The one thing I didn't like is the entire subplot of the Avengers don't get paid. Because I find it very hard to believe that Tony didn't have something financially set up to take care of the Avengers.
He absolutely did.
But that's my point. Like I find it hard to believe. I can't remember. Did Happy get snapped away? I can't remember if they ever showed it or if they've ever said whether or not Happy was a victim of the snap.
I don't think he was.
I don't know.
So, I mean, I think like that's part of the thing. I can't remember if Pepper was either.
Pepper was not.
Pepper was. Obviously not, because they had the kid. Yeah. So I find even with Tony going off into his isolation, I find it very hard to believe that he wasn't looking after the families of those left behind, especially the Avengers. Like, yes, he's not going to give away his money to billions of people, but he's going to take care of the Avengers because he always felt personally responsible for that. Like, there's no way he wasn't taking care of Aunt May. Like,
I bet he was.
but I mean, that's the point. Like, I don't think there's any universe where he's not taking care of the families of the Avengers left behind. Like, would he do it with them knowing? No, probably not. But I think he'd, you know, do the like the phantom donation stuff. You know,
into the mic.
Am I not?
No, you weren't.
But like, I think he'd be doing like the mystery, you know, things and making sure they were taken care of, so that, you know, if they come back or if they don't, I think he'd feel personally responsible for not being able to save them. That's who Tony was.
That's pretty on point, I think.
What would you give the first episode out of 10?
A 7?
7? Solid. Tommy, over to you, man. What did you think of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
It sent me in a couple circles. Because, as you know, I'm not the most up-to-date person with the MCU.
Yeah. Which,
but I was
generally
able to follow most elements, piece things together just from common knowledge. I gotta say, I didn't know what I was walking into, but I genuinely enjoyed this. It's definitely something different. I'm really looking forward to it. You know, I started an MCU watch through, what was it, a few months ago. I fell out of it after the first movie or two. Just got busy, whatever. Maybe a movie wasn't around I needed. This is another push for wanting to go back. Now, if only there were like another 20 some hours in a day, that'd be great too. But I really think this episode is setting us up for an exciting story. Johnny, from your comments, you're kind of alluding that it's looking like this is going to follow the, you know, previously established comics a little more.
Well, I mean, there's elements that have the possibility to stick with the comics, but nothing like there's no individual series I can point to and say they're doing this.
They always borrow. And
yeah,
they make it their own.
That's what I was thinking.
Most of the time, good. Other times, awful.
Yeah. You know, hit or miss. Take this, take that. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. I think that's really. I don't know if I want to use the term fan service, but it's really, you know, giving the fans something to really go off of. The action that we see in, you know, it's the pilot episode. It's obviously a little minimal. We're still in drama, but I think it's going to be there, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. And because I don't really have all that much to contribute because I need to catch up with the MCU, I'll leave it at that. I am looking
What do you give it out of
to
10?
see. Out of 10, I will give it a 7.5.
7.5. So same as Kenny. Kenny in the chat gave it a 7.5. I gotta say, I thought the first episode was great. I really liked the pacing of the episode. I also really enjoy those two characters, though, Bucky and Falcon. Ever since their little exchange with Spider-Man in the airport during Civil War, you could tell they had chemistry then, and obviously so could Marvel and Disney. I enjoyed it. It felt very very much like a Bourne movie or a Mission Impossible movie. Or even one closer to that genre would be, it felt a lot like The Winter Soldier, the movie. Very similar style of movie or episode. The other thing I liked is it wasn't 25 minutes long. You know, it was 52 minutes long. Really, it was about 45 minutes long. But that's the way all these Disney Plus shows should be. Quality is better than quantity, but when you have quantity, it allows you to deliver more quality over that span of time instead of rushing things.
I feel like I need a flowchart to follow that sentence.
I really enjoyed it. Now, this is coming from someone who didn't see WandaVision all the way through. I only seen the first 2 episodes, but I know what happened. I didn't like the first 2 episodes at all, and I don't like what happened in it at all. It's not for me.
Just don't. I already tried to.
But I understand it. It's mass success. I don't like what they did with the one X-Men character. There was no need to even have him in there.
Watch it, and you'll understand.
I already
why
understand.
It makes sense.
No, it doesn't make sense though.
Actually, it makes a lot more sense than you know.
They never explained it though.
Which part?
Explained it.
Like which part do you not?
What happens
understand?
with him?
What do you mean? He's a person in the city. Like, you actually learn who his name is and what his name is. He is a real person that lives.
But there was no need to use that character. They're baiting fans.
I think there's more to that than you know.
Well, maybe, but I'm talking about what they showed. And the number one complaint I've seen out of WandaVision is about that character, and they're not. I can understand that
to a certain degree, but to another degree, I'm thinking like this is the MCU, and they're moving the chess pieces. And they're seeing pieces moved in 10 turns that you don't understand yet. Well, I think it's going to make perfect sense.
I hope it is. I hope you're right about that, and they have a track record of that.
I think it is.
But if it's not, that was some cheap fucking...
For no other reason than the outfit he was wearing when he first showed up.
I hope you're right.
For no other reason than the outfit he was wearing and Wanda believing he was Quicksilver, I truly believe that it was a pierce through the universe.
I hope so, because
if she doesn't understand her chaos, she doesn't understand her powers. So seeing him and seeing her brother makes perfect sense to me. If that's chaos,
if there's no payoff to that, though, it's a cheap move by Feige and company. It really, honestly is, and I'm not the only one that feels this way. It's the most negative thing about that series that's out there from a lot of people.
I think once we get the full integration of universes, it'll make so much more sense.
They certainly are taking their time with X-Men. I think one of the reasons for that is...
They have to, because the plans are mapped out so far ahead.
But it's already been some time, and they've had... it is what it is. I think
the world has played a much bigger part in the lack of integration than their plans.
Oh, for sure. It's delayed everything. Mm-hmm. Delayed a movie we're about to talk about in Halloween Kills. And you're right, I haven't seen it all the way, so I can't fairly judge it the same way I get on you. You haven't seen Joker. You can't fairly judge it. I'm just talking about what I've read, I didn't like, and I did not like the first 2 episodes of the series. I do understand that once you got to, I think, episode 4 or 5, it really picked up from there.
Once you understand what's going on in the first few episodes, it makes a lot more sense. The first few episodes on their own are kind of jarring.
I'm only comparing Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
If you compare episode 1 to episode 1, Falcon and the Winter Soldier is 1,000 times better because it's not awkward. Like you know exactly what's happening. There are things that, yes, are questionable and iffy and weird, whereas... episode 1 of WandaVision is an episode of the Dick Van Dyke Show.
I've seen a few Star Wars fans being like, they really didn't like I won't name them, but they didn't like Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And all I thought to myself is, you're probably not going to like Cassian then, or Andor then, because it's going to be very similar in tone. Very similar. So, Kieran says he hasn't talked in 10 minutes, but he hasn't seen the episode, so...
Yeah, I know.
I didn't
weird.
talk for 10 minutes while you guys did Justice League, and I didn't complain.
Yeah.
It's just weird. I have a hard time not talking.
If Kieran doesn't hear his own voice every 5 to 10 minutes, he starts going a little stir crazy.
This is true. It's just true. I'm not going to deny it.
My one knock on the episode would be I thought they went a little too deep into Falcon and his family and what was going on there. I thought that was a little overkill.
I think it'll pay off a bit more in the end, but it was a little unnecessary to me because like I said, it's the one part of the episode that I look at and go, I don't buy that. And it even now coming back from the snap, I don't buy that, when Tony passed, he didn't leave a fund to take care of the Avengers. Yeah. Like, who's paying upkeep at Avengers Mansion, at the Avengers Tower? Who's paying upkeep?
Pepper would make sure that
Pepper, equally as important, would be making sure that all these people are taken care of. It's just, that's the one part that I'm like, this is unnecessary to me because, yes, okay, the Avengers don't get a paycheck from the government, but there's no way Tony's not, if you go to Tony and say, I need $100,000 for, my family business. If you're Sam Wilson, he's going to give you $100,000 and say, go take care of your family.
Yeah, although, I mean, he really didn't, He really hasn't seen Sam since Civil War, and then we're on opposite sides. I mean, they don't cross paths in Infinity War, and they would all maybe they crossed each other in the battlefield of Endgame. I don't think by the end Tony was a good dude. You're right; he would have had everybody taken care of. But his relationship with Sam was not close.
No, not Sam personally. No, but I mean, let's be real. Tony is still Tony, and the one thing that was most important to Tony was family.
All right, let's talk Halloween, people. Let's dive into some Halloween here for the last 10, 12 minutes of the show. Look, each and every week, I get messages out the ass about Halloween stuff. Some people are like, give me the Halloween end script or else. It's like, you didn't pay attention to the show. You'd know that I don't have it. Got rid of it, deleted it. And again, I can't even speak to the validity of it. The movie hasn't been filmed yet, so we don't really know where Halloween Kills, the movie, had been filmed. And we were able to know. But since it came from the same place, there's probably some accurate information there. And then people will message just be like, when's the marketing campaign start? When are we getting a poster? And the truth is, everything is still in motion with what's going on in the world. Yes, the United States of America is starting to open back up. Yes, something like 98% of AMC theaters are open at the States. But it's like when people read that headline, they think that 98% of the theaters are open at full capacity, and it's not.
Not even close.
Not even half. And it's going to be forever until it is half, even down there. Now, some might be half. Some might even be full. I mean, look at the Texas Rangers. They're allowed to have
full capacity in Texas.
Yeah. So, not saying for everywhere, because obviously there's select states that have different limitations.
Your regional numbers may vary.
Yeah. But look, and then here's another one I get. Have you, and I've gotten it from, I think, 3 people this week. Did you hear that Ryan Turk said this? Ryan Turk is a producer over at Blumhouse. I hate that I have to explain this again, but I'm going to explain it anyways. Okay, so Halloween, the franchise right now, there's a bunch of different chefs in the kitchen. You know, you got Trancas, you got Blumhouse, you have David Gordon Green's company, I can't remember the name of it, and you have Universal, who's the ultimate distributor. Ryan Turk may be in the know-how at Blumhouse, a relatively small company, but very successful for what they do. And he absolutely does have his foot involved in Halloween. And he's a popular name that diehards love to throw out there that follow the Halloween stuff and the Blumhouse stuff. Blumhouse does not control the marketing for the movie, nor do they control the distribution of the movie. That is Universal. That doesn't mean that Ryan Turk can't make suggestions, just like Jason Blum has some say. But at the end of the day, Universal is the one that controls what happens with Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends Again, Halloween Ends, whatever. You get where I'm going with that. Universal is the company that controls what happens with the property in terms of distribution and marketing. But people, for whatever reason, seem to think because Jason Blum will come out and say something like, Halloween Kills is coming out no matter what in 2021. Jason Blum doesn't get final say on that. But you'll have fans that read that and be like, but Jason Blum said, and it's like, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, it does matter to an extent what Blum says, but he doesn't have the final say. Can he sway Universal? Sure.
Yeah, he's at the table, but he's not the boss, right?
Correct. And just the amount of people that don't understand this is, it's gone from mind-boggling to kind of annoying. Because Blum and Ryan Turk and other people at Blumhouse, well, they have some level of input. They don't get final say. If Universal decides, you know what, the fall movie schedule is too clogged, we're moving Halloween to February. Universal gets that say, not Blumhouse. End of story. When is the marketing going to begin for Halloween Kills? The truth is, we haven't heard much. We haven't heard much at all. If you look at when they wanted to release the trailer last year, it would have been May. But COVID was rampant, so nothing came out in May. We got this tiny little thing in June with the delay of the movie. I think it was June, maybe it was July, I can't remember. One of the months that starts with a J that's not January. The movie's scheduled for October, guys. When do you think Halloween Kills is going to start rolling out their poster? And we do believe the first poster we get will be the theatrical. It's not likely that we're going to get a teaser poster first, because that would have happened by now. But when do we get the poster and the trailer, and you start to see more articles in magazines and online internet sites? A lot of people thought it was starting a couple months ago, and we on this channel legitimately said, it's not starting. This is shit that they had left over from last year that was supposed to come out within a few weeks of the delay, never did, and so those companies sat on it. When do you guys reasonably see the Halloween Kills marketing, start, given the state of just the U.S. right now in the theater industry?
I mean, I'd say personally 6 months from a firm release date. You know, that's about my guess. So I think right now the release date is still soft. It's not, there's still, I'd say, a very high probability that it gets pushed. And do I like that idea? No, but I've come around to the reality that, yeah, I may very well be watching this film with snow on the ground. And it is what it is, because, the world of 2021 is a heck of a lot different than the world of 2019. It's fundamentally different. People talk about events that change your life, events that change the world. And the one we're living in right now is that. It has fundamentally changed the world as we know it. And, until we can get to a point where they're comfortable releasing their films to make money, and that's the important thing, is they need to make money. And yes, Halloween is on the scale of cost shockingly low. You know, compared to like the James Bond films or the Fast and the Furious franchises, and all those other tentpole Universal films that just keep getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. But you hit it on the head when you said the slate of October is what's going to determine this. And didn't we just get a bunch of movies pushed back to the fall?
September, October, November. Yeah,
So-
it's just a ridiculous release schedule right now.
I would not be surprised one iota if next month they say we're not this is the next one pushed back, and that's what it feels like. That's the next slate of films to get pushed back is those fall films. And I mean, just because we can see the light at the end of the tunnel, we still don't know how long this tunnel is. Yes, we can see the light at the end of it, but that light could still be a year away. And until you can get to the point where you can release the blockbusters, then the lower films, which as much as I enjoy Halloween, it is to them it's a tadpole. Halloween is a tadpole in the ocean, and as long as the sharks can't swim, neither can the tadpoles.
Yeah, Tommy B, we know you got to go, man. What's your best guess on when we might see a poster and/or trailer?
Wow, Skype didn't want to unmute. So I'm totally leaning on board with let's stick close to what they were trying to do last year, like a May sort of schedule. And we could swing that to late April or early June, whatever. But it seems kind of opportune. At this time, is there a chance they could end up delaying the film again? Yeah, but as the dialogue, as the discourse has gone on further and further, longer and longer about this film, I tend to align with the idea of it's likely going to come out one way or another this year, probably before the holiday season. That's just me, though. That's nothing official. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with May-ish. I think we'll get the theatrical poster at this point. It doesn't really, like I say, seem maybe worth getting an extra, teaser or promo poster, but maybe they'll decide what the hell, why not? Wouldn't be the first time, right?
We do have a super chat to read. I'll get to it after we outro Tommy. Tommy, pleasure to have you on this evening. Hopefully see you Thursday, and we'll keep on keeping on. Actually, we might see you. Have you decided on Friday yet?
I'll message you tomorrow.
All right. For those that don't know, Ian and I are going to be on here Friday night at 10 o'clock Eastern, and we're going to do a live watch-along of the making of The Phantom Menace called Star Wars The Beginning. And the best part about this is it's an actual YouTube video, so we can actually have it up on the screen with us. You won't just be watching along guessing where we are. It'll be on the screen, and we can still monetize the video.
That's cool.
So we're going to do that Friday at 10. It's about an hour long. I think it's a great documentary, and we'll have some fun with that. Tommy, where can everybody find you at, man?
Catch me hanging around Facebook, Fandom Empire Den, our group, Future of Halloween, all that good stuff. Instagram and Twitter at TommyB1650.
Awesome, Tommy. Well, until next time, my friend. And we're just going to let Tommy sit there because we can. So this is what I would say on Halloween Kills. The last thing I heard was nothing before May. The last time I checked in about the marketing, which to me is not really an important thing because all movie marketing is not what it normally is because of the current state of the world. You're basically close your eyes and throw a dart at the wall and hope it lands in the right area because things are not being done traditionally at this point. The last thing I heard is nothing before May, and that we could get a trailer for an October movie as late as August, which to me is fine. Like if you end up doing August, the beginning of August, you still have August, September, and most of October. That's still 3 months before. And don't forget, when a Star Wars movie comes out,
I was going to say,
the
how
last
is this
big
different from
trailer
Star Wars? Yeah.
is about 3 months before. I know people are going to hate the idea that we might not get a Halloween Kills trailer until August, like a full one. But, nowadays they show way the fuck too much in trailers anyway. Or they hardly show you anything. It's one or the other.
Yeah.
And there needs to be a nice place in the middle for that. Frank Riker, how's it going, Frank? Hopefully all is well, my friend. Says, fun fact, Universal Studios has never released a major movie during this pandemic, initially on VOD. Hang on, let me see if I got this right. Fun fact, Universal Studios has never released... Am I reading that right? Yeah, Universal Studios has never released of a major movie during this pandemic, initially on VOD, prior to a theatrical release. I don't know if there was some mix-up in Frank's words there. I think he's saying Universal has yet to release any movie during the pandemic. Am I right on that, Frank? Or am I misreading what you're saying? Maybe some clarification in the chat, man, if you have some time. I know you're busy. $50... Sorry, before we go there, we'll end the show on that generous super chat. Marcus, don't worry, it's coming. Kieran, what's your best guess on when we might see a... poster or trailer? Personally, I'm in no rush.
I'm actually seeing a scenario where a lot of these movies get pushed back further and they leave Halloween where it is.
I think that's a legitimate possibility.
I feel like I think things are still getting pushed. We saw Black Widow got pushed.
Black Widow.
Some of these movies I think that are in the way of Halloween
pushed and straight to
there.
Disney Plus, I think you said earlier.
Yeah. They said they are going to go to Disney Plus, I think, in
Disney
July.
Plus premiere and theaters in July.
Yeah. So I can see a scenario where some of these things are going to get pushed to different places and maybe video on demand and whatever. And I can see a place where they say, you know what, Halloween, let's leave it where it is, because we're not worried about making $1 billion on this one, so I feel like that they could probably leave that there, much like what was it, New Mutants was not a really big thing they wanted to keep, and it ended up getting released in the middle of the pandemic.
And did not do well, even though I quite enjoyed it.
It didn't do well, and I actually love the movie as well, and I think it was a bad time to do that. However, because I know I was fucking looking over my shoulder during that movie, like some guy coughed and it was like, fuck off, get out of here. Like,
don't breathe near me.
Yeah. What the hell? 5 rows, guy. Anyways, I can see, with all the big crazy blockbuster movies, them moving those and then saying like, I think we'll leave Halloween here and, see what happens. I can see that scenario. And then I think if that does end up being October, September, that we probably get it June, July.
There's like 9 or 10 projected movies, there's 9 or 10 movies that are projected to make north of $150 million at the box office that come out within like a 7-week period or some crazy shit like that, 8-week period. Things are going to move. There's still more movies to move. And if it's not because of the pandemic, it's simply because of how clogged the schedule is. I know everyone's going to keep flooding back to the theaters.
Chicken right now. I think they're honestly kind of playing chicken right now.
I think people are making a huge mistake if they think, so let's say whatever state opens up their theaters at 100% capacity. If you think all those movies are going to sell out their showings, I don't feel like you've been paying attention to what's been going on. There's going to be a lot of reservation in terms of how people attend these things. I can tell you that when I went to see New Mutants and Tenet, we were allowed, what were they showing at, 25% or 30% for the theaters?
They had every 5th seat, I think. So that would make it like 20%, right? Or wait.
There was only one other couple for Tenet, and there was nobody else for New Mutants. Literally just us. And like prime time stuff like too, like 7, 8 o'clock at night. So it's, it is what it is. Zack in the chat had mentioned, isn't it about time we get a trailer? Haven't we waited long enough? You know what? Between all the information that's out there, the script leaks, the images, the trailer that we already got, I know it's just a short teaser. I don't know why you'd want more. Like, I don't. The movie's going to come out in October, more than likely.
I mean,
you don't need much more.
I think that's just a thirst. I think that's just
I can't, I can't speak for all Halloween fans, but I can speak for myself as a Halloween fan who wants to see the franchise continue. And I'll wait as long as they want to put out this trailer, because the trailers are what draw in the average Joe. If you put out a trailer, we've been clamoring for a trailer for going on almost a year now. If they'd have put out a trailer a year ago when we really wanted them to, when it looked like it was coming out, 6 months ago instead of, 8 months from now, by the time the movie actually comes out, average Joe's going to have forgotten about it.
Yeah, it doesn't.
They're not
going to
care.
Yeah.
And it's going to make so much less money, and that hurts the franchise as a whole. I'd rather wait and, not get a trailer until, August or September if the movie's... I'll even wait until September, because the way the world is right now, I want that to be as fresh in the average Joe fan as possible in the hopes of drawing them into the theater, however full they are come release.
Until they're like 95% sure, and I'm talking Universal, even the other companies, but specifically Universal, is almost guaranteed, like they know for certain that Halloween Kills is going to come out in October. And I know, again, going back to what we just said, well, Jason Blum said this, or Ryan Turek said that. It doesn't fucking matter at the end of the day,
Didn't they at all... Didn't they both guarantee it a year ago?
They didn't guarantee it, but they said they're going to do whatever they can to get the movie out, and it just wasn't going to happen. At the end of the day, they're not going to release a trailer or even the poster until they're damn certain that, okay, the vaccine is working, numbers are way down. We can't foresee a reason why this movie wouldn't come out in October other than the clogged movie schedule.
I mean, I think the simple fact is, let's be real. There's probably a warehouse full of posters that feature a 2020 release date.
Yeah.
So, that's my point, though. The fact is, they're not
You just pissed off so many people, Johnny.
But they're not going to keep making new posters for release dates until they have it locked down. They're just not going to put... They're going to keep pushing money into it, and that's going to hurt the franchise because it's going to keep blowing up the production side of the budget and blowing it up. And are we going to make a lot of money? Yes, because let's be real, the Halloween movies are relatively cheap to make. So,
although they did go high on the budget for this one. So
what's that for this one? $25 million?
It was $30 million minus the $7 million.
My goodness.
But that doesn't include marketing, and the marketing usually doubles that.
I'm saying, from a production side, it's still cheap. A $50 million movie is a drop in the pan for Universal.
It's still dwarfed by all these other movies we're talking about.
Exactly.
Frank Riker sent in some clarification from earlier. He said, where is it here? Universal always released in theaters first, then VOD a few weeks later. And right now their current deal is 17 days, I believe they have to wait before VOD.
That's what they came up with after the...
that can change. There's time for that to change. But basically, what Frank is telling you is Universal has taken a different stance than what some of these other distribution companies have taken.
Well, yeah, they pushed it last year with the... was it Trolls, I think? Was the big one? That led the anchor of a slate of movies that they pushed to VOD the same week.
I'm not sure, but I can basically...
When the world went crazy, they just pushed a bunch of movies really quick, and that led to was it AMC that fought back and said, you got to release to theaters. And led to that whole, we're not going to show our films in that
theater there was a massive thing. They've gotten over it since then, but Frank says Universal will release the movie in theaters for 2 weeks, then VOD. The most money will be made during its initial run. Yeah, the first 2 weeks of a movie, even the first 3 weeks of a movie, represents something like 80% of what that movie makes.
It's not it's about time that the theaters and the production studios are getting forward with the trends. It used to be you'd need a 90-day window in theaters because you'd still it would take that long to get to some of the the smaller theater chains and the mom and pop places and the little average Joe theaters.
Crudes. He says, Johnny, Crudes.
Crudes? Was it? I didn't think... Okay, Crudes. Either way, I thought it was Crudes. It was one of those little tiny... Whatever. But, back, 20 years ago, a 90-day release window was needed because it took that long to make the full rounds.
Let's be honest, though. A 90-day release window is not needed now. It hasn't been needed for very long. To me, you should be at most 6 weeks and done. You don't need more than 6 weeks. Not even the huge blockbuster films.
No,
if they want to stay.
I'd even say if you're a blockbuster, 4 weeks. Yeah. If you're a summer tentpole, 4 weeks.
So basically, if you're not comfortable going to see this movie in a theater, and you want to see this movie on VOD, which I guarantee you will have access to, maybe not on the day like Frank is saying, although that still has time to change. Just there's been no evidence that shows Universal's willing to do that, and rightfully so. You're going to want to avoid spoilers. I mean, you're already avoiding spoilers if you don't like them because the script's been out for basically a year. But you're really going to want to avoid spoilers because guys like us will have all gone to see the movie, and we will be on YouTube giving our spoiler review. So you're not going to want to tune into that if you're waiting for VOD. And it's going to be a personal choice that you're going to have to make because they're not going to be out on the same time. Sorry, Kieran wanted to know how much longer we were going. You could have just asked it.
I have to pee.
He has to pee.
That sounds like a personal problem.
Yeah, that's.
I've been drinking lots of water. I'm on a healthy diet. I'm going to be fucking ripped in like 2 months, I swear.
You mean your clothes are going to be ripped?
All right. Anyway, by the way, we're getting ready to get off here, guys. So this is the last chance to get your questions, comments, and or super chats in. I want to go back to Marcus's super chat. He sent in an extremely generous super chat of $50. He's also been one of our biggest Patreon supporters since we got started over there. He says, are you guys excited for the Chucky TV series? Me personally, Marcus, I understand that you just donated a lot of money to ask this question. I don't like Chucky. I have never liked Chucky. I just don't get it or like it. Now, hey, if we go Chucky versus Leprechaun, then maybe that's the next big versus.
Is Leprechaun going to be in it? Because then I'll watch it for sure.
Where are you guys, though, with the Chucky TV series?
I'm going to be perfectly frank and say that until that super chat was sent in and I Googled it, I had no idea there was one.
Yeah.
And I'm a Child's Play fan. So, I mean, is it a victim of circumstance, being something announced during all of this craziness that has been the last 2 years? Yes, it has. But that being said, I'm not super excited about it because I just don't know. I don't know what's left for this franchise, Like, I love it. I enjoy it. I've always loved Child's Play. And once it stopped being Child's Play, every movie that came out became less and less interesting to me. Like, once you got out of Child's Play 4, I think Child's Play 4 was the last Child's Play. Maybe 3.
I thought it was 3.
I can't remember if it was 3 or 4. But either way, once you got to Bride of Chucky and then Seed of Chucky and Cult of Chucky, it's just each one got fundamentally worse than the last one because they just kept grasping at the same straws. Like, I liked the Chucky versus, I can't even remember the kid's name from the first 3 Child's Play movies. But
I believe it was Leprechaun. No, we must be talking about something else.
I actually want to say it was Billy, but
Are you just going on because you know I have to pee?
maybe a little.
Fucking asshole.
Speaking of that, said P.
What's under the table here?
Frank says, Kieran, don't go chasing waterfalls. Stick to rivers and the lake you're used to. Good luck with the flow.
Did you have to Google the lyrics to that song?
Just pinch your tip, Kieran.
Did you have to Google the lyrics to that song, Frank?
Johnny wants to know if you had to Google the lyrics.
I think
Frank.
he can hear me.
No, that's. I think most people know the lyrics to that, don't they?
That specifically, I mean, like I know "Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls," but I couldn't tell you the words that came after it.
Oh, I knew the rest.
Chasing waterfalls.
Now, if you want to, if we want to sing "No Scrubs,"
oh my God, we're talking about water. I have to pee.
Andy Barkley says Toronto Freddy.
Thank you, Freddy. I knew it was one of those fundamentally average child's names.
Kieran, Chucky series, any interest?
I have to pee.
All right, so
I don't see how that's an answer.
Kenny asks about Smallville. Not a ton of merchandise for the show. Just TV shows didn't get a ton of merchandise back then. It's not the same as movies. I know you see it with like Arrowverse stuff and Supernatural. Smallville didn't get a ton. Like I want to get a couple.
That's not very much compared to movies.
Yeah, I want to get like a. I know there's a Clark and Lex Funko Pop, and I want to get them for that shelf up there.
Oh, there's pops,
but
that's about. I mean, there's pops for everything. Give us enough time, and there will be pops of us.
Frank says, "I know it, baby. It's TLC."
All right, good for you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for our show this
Kieran's
evening.
taking the shirt thing a little farther.
I am a practicing Buddhist. You know that?
So's Tommy, who is in fact not here, but he looks like he's
true,
here.
Yeah.
So, LRR Tuna says, go pee already. Not here. Jeez. Whoa. Whoa.
No. It's bad enough Sean's suggesting that we all get off.
I don't.
Like, I don't need Kieran peeing down here. That's not one of my kinks. Not that I'm kink shaming you if it is, but it's not one of mine.
Dean Renner says, sends a super chat, Kieran has to pee fund and channel support. Oh my God.
Is that for a new pair of pants when I need them now?
Hey, I got you shorts, man. I got you shorts.
Yeah, that's true. I did get the shorts. There's a picture on the fan group of me in the shorts too.
Yeah, I seen that. That was a sexy pic. Sexy pic. Anyways,
I'm
Kieran,
concerned you find Kieran in shorts sexy, even if you bought them for him.
He just knows it's true. It's not like he's attracted to me. He's just like, man, that I could tell the women would go crazy for this.
Kieran, where can everybody find you at? Frank says drip, drip, drip.
In sexy pictures. You can find me at the Rick and Morty Fan Show. You can find me in the Fandom Empire Den. You can find me at Kieran_FE on Instagram. You can find me at the Rick and Morty Fan Show on, what's that one? Twitter? Yeah, the Rick and Morty Fan Show on Twitter. I think,
It's your job to remember your socials.
yeah, I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't know. You can find me anywhere my name is and then add me and like all my shit.
All right. Johnny, how about you? Where can we all find you at?
You can find me here, there, and everywhere here on this channel. And you can, of course, find me Bros Before Pros Gaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Insta, Twitter, all of them.
Check us out on Patreon, www.patreon.com/FandomEmpire. 3 exclusive shows over there. Number 1 is the Lambkin Lane. You got to subscribe to the Lambkin Lane tier to get it. It is our exclusive behind-the-curtain look at Halloween, Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends, and so much more. You can check out the Fandom Empire Underground over there as well. Happens once a month. And coming back soon, the Camp Haddonfield podcast alongside with Matt Whitfield. Also, check us out on Facebook, Fandom Empire Den, Fandom Empire page, Halloween Newsnet, and on Twitter at Fandom Empire Now. For Johnny, Kieran, Tommy, the chat mods, Frank Riker, Toronto Freddy, Jade, and everybody else. Jade says, take your garbage tonight, you fuckers.
All right.
I haven't left mine this year.
You better end the stream now before another stream comes up.
That's going to do it for us, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you on Thursday. Good night, everybody. If I had a water playing sound effect, I'd play it, but I don't.
Motherfucker. End the show! End the show! End the show!